You start rolling? Okay, cool. My name's Redden. I'm a physician, sports medicine doctor. I grew up in Wyoming where I forged an unyielding work ethic working in oil fields. I'm the son of an oil field worker and a substitute teacher. The first person in me and my family to go to college and keep going to college and keep going to college and keep going to college. So I think I've had 4 graduations after high school, undergrad, medical school, residency, sports medicine. When I broke out in the oil field, I learned something in that environment that has served me well through my career. And not to sound corny or to try to mimic Dwayne Johnson, but honestly, hard work, there's no way to replace that. There's no substitute for strength and there's no excuse for lack of it. My journey through fitness started at a very young age. I've got Viking ancestry. I'm a thicker person. As a younger guy, I was very overweight and not very athletic. I grew up in a tiny little town where there was really not much else to do besides sports and athletics. I got made fun of because I was overweight and I didn't like it. And I remember talking to my dad one time. I was just crying and being sad, feeling sorry for myself, having a pity party, and he's like, you can either be a victim, you can just accept this and deal with it, or you can do something about it. And so the next morning he got me up at 0500 and I started lifting weights. I think I was 12 or 13. You fast forward to the time I graduated high school, not that it was anything special, but I could bench more and squat more and deadlift more than anybody in my class. Made all state, all district, and 3 different sports. That carried me through into college, where I unfortunately had some pretty life-altering injuries. I had a back injury that resulted in numbness and weakness in my leg and a foot drop that required surgery. And then another surgery. I had a bad blowout in my knee that required 2 surgeries to fix. It sort of derailed my dreams. And at that point in my life, I was pretty low. I met a sports medicine doctor and realized that I could do a lot to help people in that same situation that I was in if I used my brain and my back to get me through school so that I could be a physician and help athletes. So you fast forward now, it's where I'm at today, and that's my job. I work with injured athletes to help get them back into their sport or their activity, whatever it may be. Everything from professional Olympic athletes all the way down to the weekend warriors or the, just the average golfers that love the sport and want to keep golfing. That's kind of how I ran into Eric Cafferty and the Mecca here in Meridian. I was looking for a gym that I could work in as an adjunct to my other clinic and other hospital responsibilities, where I could offer manipulation, osteopathic manipulation, and a sports medicine's eye, coming as an athlete to help athletes to keep them in their sport. Powerlifters and bodybuilders are a little sick in the head. They enjoy pain a little bit too much sometimes, I think, and I get that, I understand that. So working here at the Mecca and with Eric, I'm able to help these guys and gals that are just love the sport of powerlifting and bodybuilding and weight training and exercise in general. They get banged up, they get hurt, they want to push through it, and there's a certain level where pushing through actually causes damage versus pushing through can actually cause you to break through plateaus. And so I'm working with Eric and the other trainers here to help people find that line and then keep them on the safe side. And then when they do get injured, put them back together so that they can keep competing. It's been a great merge of his expertise and my expertise. I've also, we shot this video tonight doing some training out in the gym. The last 6 months to the day, actually, 6 months to the day, I've been following a pretty rigorous diet. I guess you could call it a show prep type diet. Initially, it was just to try to lose some weight to help my own back feel better. I had a back surgery in November again and had a shoulder surgery 2 years ago that's really kind of slowed me down, and being heavier was causing me problems. So I initially started losing weight through December and January with the goal simply to just feel better in the morning and not hurt, not be as achy. Somewhere along the line, I felt a sense of urgency finishing up my residency, because as a physician, residency is a very dark time. You work minimum 80 hours a week. I work more than that because I moonlight. I have 3 other jobs. I have a wife, I have 3 kids, and they're the absolute light of my life. They're my calling in life, is to be a daddy and a father. So I have other responsibilities. And I felt this sense of urgency that I wanted to finish residency still being an athlete, still being in good shape. I wanted to do it with balance. I wanted to do it taking care of my family, taking care of my work responsibilities, and then being healthy along the way. And so I was bouncing ideas off of Eric, and he was, giving me guidance and helping me with, some small tweaks in my diet and some small tweaks in my training. And I was really grateful for his assistance and his help. Along with Kaged Muscle, I work really closely with Eric Cafferty and Nick Holt and a few of the other Kaged Muscle employees, and some of their athletes are my patients. And I use their supplements. I love their supplements. That's the only company that I use supplements from. And I don't recommend them as a physician to all people. It's a supplement. It's not something that you absolutely need. But so I use Kaged Muscle supplements. The company's been very gracious to me, and I wanted to give back in any way I could. So we did this video tonight showcasing some of the supplements that I use, and then the Mecca Gym, where just a phenomenal facility. You walk out there in that floor at any given day and you're gonna see people pulling weight that is, national record level weight. Just some phenomenal athletes out there on the floor. You get a little bit of everything. You get the average Joe who's just here to try to be healthy. You got the newbie who's just learning, and everybody comes together and tries to support people. And then you've got some really upper level, elite level athletes. And just seeing what they can do gives you that power, that motivation that, hey man, if they can do it, maybe I can do it. And that was another part of wanting to do this video, is to be like, look, the last 6 months I dieted and I trained, and I got in pretty decent shape for a guy that's in his mid-30s, not gonna say how old I am, but mid-30s with 3 kids, a wife, and I work 100 hours a week, still found time to diet, to train. And one word of advice is don't be an asshole. That's not trying to be too rude, but if you ask for somebody's help and for their advice, I asked Eric Cafferty for some advice and he gives it to me. I'm not going to turn around and spit it back in his face. Same thing, Eric Cafferty. I'm saying, hey Eric, these are the things that I'm doing. What do you think? And if he says, hey, might try this, then I'm not going to turn around and be like, well, that doesn't work for me because blah blah blah. I'm going to give it a shot. And so I've done that, and it's worked really well. I think Eric does a great job with his clients, and I was really grateful for his help and his assistance. So hopefully tonight I can show some people that, a lot of things are possible. You can outwork your genetics. I don't have phenomenal genetics. I'm an average guy. I'm 6'1", 200 pounds. I started off this diet in December. I was around 215. This week, before I carb loaded for today, I was down to about 189 pounds. In 6 months, I lost about a pound and a half a week, and was just very consistent, very committed. And I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't use any crazy diet pills or anything like that. I just was consistent with my training, and I followed a very balanced diet, and it worked really well for me. So my advice is that if you're looking to change your life and get healthier, it starts with commitment, number one, and then the second thing is that it requires consistency and hard work, and just the belief that you can achieve anything. It really, I am living proof. Small town kid, grew up, we weren't, my folks were pretty hard up when I grew up, so I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I worked my way through college. I got some scholarships for athletics, not because of, God-given talent, but because of work ethic and determination, support of good people. Came out with an education that has benefited me, my family, and a lot of other people. I've done everything I can with this vessel, this machine that I have, to try to live life to the fullest. I love lifting weights. It's my favorite thing to do. If you were going to ask me what I wanted to do on a Friday night, I'd be like, man, I want to come clang and bang. I love pushing iron around the gym. I just love it. Yeah, so if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's the bottom line. So, God bless, follow your dreams, work hard. And if you're too proud to ask for help, you're done growing. So, reach out to people that you look at as successful, and be willing to try things that are new. And if you think you're already working hard, guarantee you can work harder. That's it, bottom line. How's that for rambling?